Hello, everyone. I'm Don May, International Customer Success Advocate for Spider Strategies, and welcome to our webinar today focused on amping up your management meetings. When this webcast is over, you will understand how you can utilize Spider Impact to save time, money, and even the environment to create the most beautiful and impactful meetings you've ever had. Please remember that you'll be able to revisit this and all of our monthly webinars at the Spider Strategies website under Resources. Quick note, all attendees are in listen-only mode during this session. Also, while we won't be able to answer your question during today's webinar, we're happy to answer them once the webinar has concluded. Today, we're here to talk about meetings, specifically about management meetings and organizational performance review meetings. They are typically dreaded, note my very scary font here, yet necessary in order to create and maintain strategic alignment within the organization, ensure that strategic initiatives are performing as planned to achieve the best possible business results, and make data-based decisions on how to course correct, if necessary, to hit goals moving forward. And there are ways that you can make them so much more interactive, engaging, impactful, and dare I say it, maybe even a little fun. So let's get started and just talk a little bit about meetings in general. Meetings are part of our professional lives. No work schedule is complete without them, but that doesn't mean all meetings are productive endeavors. Unfortunately, most are considered a waste of time. That's because it takes considerable time and resources to set one up. Employees have to take time away from productive work to prepare for unproductive conversations, which usually means interruptions to meaningful daily work. Not only this, meetings are expensive. Just look around the table, virtual or in person, during your next meeting and estimate the hourly salary of everyone there. That's just a part of what it's costing your organization. That's why it's important to not conduct meetings just for the sake of having them. And here are some meeting statistics that may convince you. 11 million meetings are held across the United States each day. That means 55 million meetings are held on average each week using a 5-day work week. This translates to, drumroll please, 220 million meetings per year in the US alone. And now I'll take that number worldwide. Take a second to let that sink in. We get it, our heads hurt just thinking about it too. But we're not done with those scary stats yet. Let's consider these. 15% of an organization's time is spent in meetings. It's estimated that middle managers spend 35% of their time in meetings, while upper management spends about 50% of their time in meetings. On average, employees spend 4 hours each week preparing for status meeting. And here's where that big meeting payoff comes in, right? You and your team have put in all this time and effort and have a great meeting, and it's going to be great. Unfortunately, no, that's not the case. 67% of employees say that their meetings actually hinder productivity, and it stops them from being productive at work. And here's the big one. Over 35% of employees say they waste 2 to 5 hours in meetings each day. And what's more, they say they have nothing to show for it. In fact, according to Doodle, every year, 24 billion hours will be wasted in pointless meetings. A couple of fun facts for you. 95% of meeting attendees actually lose focus and miss parts of the meeting, while 39% doze off. And if you ask employees what their organization's most significant cost is, 37% will tell you it's unnecessary meetings. Before 2020, organizations and businesses worldwide dreamed of a world where meetings were held online. In fact, companies globally were focused on digital transformation long before COVID-19 was even a blip on the horizon. But the COVID-19 pandemic necessitated and accelerated digital transformation for all organizations. For the first time ever, the distributed workforce and remote worker became a standard to which all services needed to cater. Not only have companies from all over the world experienced a massive influx of virtual meetings, but the expectation of meetings have also changed. When 2019 came to an end, many employees had no idea how a Zoom meeting worked because such technologies have often been perceived as being only applicable for remote workers. The coronavirus has changed perceptions because nearly all office-based work became remote work overnight, as many employees found themselves forced to work from home, where connecting with other employees is limited to virtual meetings, video calls, and phone calls. In essence, the emergence of COVID-19 greatly accelerated digital transformation for most organizations across the globe, forcing many businesses, including some of whom weren't close to being ready, into distributed workforce model where all connection takes place online and through virtual meetings. So what have we seen as a result? We've seen way more meetings. The idea that employees found themselves attending more meetings during COVID-19 is supported by stats from the National Bureau of Economic Research. The NBER research involved 16 large metro areas in Europe, North America, and the Middle East, and it concluded that the number of people attending meetings went up by 14%, or 2 people per meeting. The number of meetings attended by each individual grew by almost 13%. What's weird is that the average meeting was actually 20% shorter. So the study also concluded that the fact that we're having more individuals in meetings, we're having more meetings, even though they're shorter, that there's a significant and durable increase in the length of the average workday, meaning that employees are now working up to 48 minutes more every single day. So imagine spending all that time in meetings, feeling that they're a waste of time, and actually enduring an increase in your workday hours as a result. Yikes. The percentage of workers permanently working from home is expected to double in 2021, or has doubled in 2021, according to a survey from Enterprise Technology Research. Another recent Gartner survey revealed that over 2/3 of organizations plan to shift employees permanently over to remote work once the crisis is fully over. Therefore, rethinking how goals are set and identifying key performance metrics will be critical to managing remote workers in the new normal. It's important to remember the following. Your team aligned to and understanding the overall strategy is the key. Things like strategy maps help make your strategy easily digestible so everyone can understand and execute. Your teams are responsible for understanding that strategy and their individual roles in achieving it via initiatives and projects. They must be given all of the tools, solutions, and applications to execute that strategy remotely, but working together and from anywhere. Real-time visibility into how these initiatives are performing also must be available and easily understandable to all team members and management from anywhere. The critical component, meetings are the place where it all comes together, where you can see and discuss strategic performance, examine what strategic initiatives are working, and stop wasting money on those that aren't, and make collaborative, data-based decisions in order to optimize overall organizational performance. So, what should your management meetings look like? What should they accomplish? Knowing that people hate meetings and they already feel they're having too many and that they're not resulting in any actual solid results. Let's talk about how you can run a meeting that is engaging, interactive, and maybe a little enjoyable. So there are some golden rules for achieving these reinvented management meetings. The first, let's save time, money, and the environment. Fast and easy meeting prep. Pull all the information for a meeting together within minutes instead of that 4-hour average. There's no need to print reams of paper or collate PDFs to facilitate an impactful meeting. Get productive hours back into your employee's day, and scheduled exports allow those who want, some sort of hard copy after the meeting is over to still receive them automatically, and I'll show you how we do that as well. Interactive data visualizations. Don't spend time poring over written notes or writing on whiteboards. Provide the same view to your team so you can see all the data in a visually pleasing and digestible way, and there's never a need to leave the system. You can create the notes within the system, see the data in the system, so there's no need to go to a whiteboard, go back to a spreadsheet. You can handle it all right through our software. Team alignment. Use this meeting to align your team to the organizational strategy. When your whole team gets it, they leave the meeting confident about their roles and accountabilities in achieving those goals. They'll be able to execute strategic initiatives together from anywhere. You're also going to need easy access to the underlying data. This is how you avoid tangents. You need the ability to dive into interesting data points and access background information, and then return to your meeting without losing a step. It's important that you stay on track in order to keep the meeting tightly focused and on topic. Remember, we're having a lot more meetings, more people at these meetings, people feeling like they're wasting a little bit of their time and enduring longer work days. Our efficiency in this piece is paramount. Data-based decision-making. Making decisions and taking immediate action real time based on the current conversation during the meeting. Now, we'll talk about this a little later, but imagine seeing a lagging area during a meeting and putting together an initiative to course correct on the spot. How valuable would that be? We're not waiting for other people to get back to us. No one's going to leave the meeting and create a plan. The plan is created directly in that meeting with everybody involved. Okay, so you've seen the stats and you've seen what's possible, so you know what you're up against. Your team's participation in meetings is mandatory, but you need them to stay awake and engaged. Our job at Spider Strategies is to make sure that you are empowered with the best strategy solution around that enables robust and impactful meetings. We do this via Spider Impact, our industry-leading strategy management and execution platform. Imagine an online meeting where you share informative, intuitive dashboards, reports, KPIs, and an interactive multi-slide briefing, complete with the ability to drill down into interesting data points and access background information. Then, with a click, return back to your briefing without losing a step and continue through your meeting. That's what Spider Impact lets you do, and we do that through briefings. So what are briefings? They're up-to-the-minute reports featuring live data with drill downs, making meetings truly interactive and exciting, and allowing focus on areas to celebrate and ones that may need improvement. Using the briefings feature in Spider Impact can take your meeting from yawn to yay. So without further ado, let me show you how to amp up your meetings with Spider Impact. So for those of you who have seen our software, you may be familiar with the navigation pane, but I'll run through it quickly for those who may be new to it. Over on the left side over here, you can see that when you log in, you're going to see your home's ability to get to your home screen, maybe some bookmarks that you've got, any of your presentation content from your strategy maps to your dashboards, your charts, and then obviously we're going to have scorecards, initiatives, and maybe even files that we need to have in the system. Now, if you want to learn more about scorecards, initiatives, or some of the other presentation modes, we have some great webinars and some great videos on our website that you can go check out. But for this demo, we are going to assume that you've gotten all of your data into our system, and we've got, even for the past 12 periods, all the data already exists in the system. That allows us to go over and create briefings. If you look quickly, you can see we have 4 briefings here. You can have as many as you need for the organization. We've got 4 different types, ranging from management all the way down to, an employee one-on-one. This is something where you can look directly at the performance of a single person. There's a March webinar that goes through this more in depth, but you can see that you can kind of create a single employee performance dashboard off of, or performance meeting off of the information in the system. But for this webinar, we are going to focus solely on high-level management meetings. And so as you can see here, I've got the monthly management meeting beginning with our strategy map. If I were to click edit, you can see here is where I can change the name of the briefing. I can rearrange slides if I need to change the order, delete, move, copy, any of those things I can do right from that edit screen. Once I have it the way I want, I then have the ability to choose which period I want to look at. So we're going to go back to May of 2021 because that was the last completed month, and we're going to start the briefing from there. But I do have the capability of changing this to whatever periodicity I desire ahead of and during the briefing. I can change it to quarterly, yearly, year to date, and I can do that before the briefing starts, or I can do that while I'm in the briefing, which I'll show you. So now we're in presentation mode. We're in the briefing, everything is live. I'm presenting, whether I'm on a GoToMeeting or a Teams call, everybody is seeing the same view, and I'm the presenter. All of this is dynamically interactive. So if I look at something and I say, oh, improved customer retention is green. Let's have a conversation around that. I have the ability to click and get taken right to that improved customer retention scorecard, even if it's located in a different part of the software. So we can take a quick look here, and we can see that we're trending up from April to May. We have a good trend line. We see our normalized score, what the actual change from the last period, which was April, is. And then there are some notes here that have been left where someone's talking about how it's virtually free to retain customers and how important it is. And an administrator says, let's start a new retention initiative to help limit ad spend. So you can get extra context about a score right while within the meeting. And then once we've finished having this conversation, I can click here and get taken right back to the strategy map that I was looking at. As I continue through the briefing, I can see things like dashboards, where now I'm looking at my strategic objectives based on specific and necessary KPIs and targets. And again, all clickable. So now I have the ability to click through here. I get taken to that training revenue scorecard. We can have deeper conversations. You see it's, it's got a red, the exclamation point because it is a red KPI. We can either add more notes, discuss, what maybe we need to add here if there's some sort of file or a different outside web address that we need to add so that people have quick access to anything related to this KPI at all. We can do that right through the scorecard. And then again, head right back into the meeting and continue on. See things like our financial scorecard, what the related items to that are. This is a dashboard, this is a chart. And then even, if you want to see something like a report, so this is all of the financial information for this entire company. You have the ability to see what that 12-month trend looks like based on the specific KPIs that we're looking at. So if we wanted to see, sales and general admin, SG&A, again, it's clickable. We go in, we have that conversation, and then we pop right back out. As we continue through the briefing, you're going to see different dashboards, different charts added. Let's talk about our marketing. How are we doing on social media platforms, print media? We can, again, have all of those conversations and then simply keep moving along throughout the briefing, get to initiatives, right? So this is an initiative to increase ad clicks. And so now from here, we have trend lines, we have the notes, we have what the tasks and milestones were. So we get an overall view of what was put in place for us to drive performance in that particular area. And then maybe we have an initiative that's not maybe necessarily targeted at specific performance, but maybe it's more of a project. So here we want to migrate our servers to the cloud, and through earned value management, we have the ability to see based on these status updates that we're going to come in about 21 days late on this initiative, but we will come in under budget. And again, while we're in this meeting, we have the potential of getting all that information at our fingertips without having to step out or have someone else go research it. It's all here. Once we've completed the briefing, we simply click stop and we're back out. And now you've given this high level meeting, which could be 10 slides, it could be 70 slides. It's really up to you, in a simple, really engaging, interactive way where people they all get the same view. You can add notes. You can deep dive into different pieces of data and find different levels of context, all in the same system. And it's really easy to build, and I can prove that to you right now. So if we wanted to build our own briefing, we are going to pretend that we are leaders of a sales, the line of business director for international sales for Mobile World. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a short 6 to 7 monthly executive briefing that showcases what our performance looks like for the period of May 2021 across all our international channels. To give you an idea of how truly easy it is to build one of these. We're going to then sort of run this briefing and then maybe find a lagging area that we can course correct right in the briefing itself and see how we can take some steps and actions to fix that right away. So let's start building this out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the briefing, I'm going to name it sales, and then I'm going to click create. Obviously it doesn't have any slides yet, so now we need to go find the information that we need to fill this briefing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Mobile World organization, and we are going to get that strategy map, and we're going to send to briefing. And then we're going to find sales, click that sales briefing, and add it in. So now that's there. Next, we need to go over to the financial organization to look at their dashboards. And what we want to do is we want to pull this financial overview dashboard because we want to show all the channels of revenue for the entire organization, and we're going to pull that into the briefing as well. So send to briefing, find sales, add that in. Next, obviously this is a sales meeting, so we should probably have some sales content. So while we're here, we're going to pull in the sales breakdown. The international sales breakdown. And obviously one of the most important pieces of information for any organization is the health of the sales pipeline. So we want to make sure we pull that in as well. All right. And on a quick chart, we're going to take in these red measures because we want to know for May of 2021, what measures did we have in the sales organization that were red so that we can course correct as quickly as possible. So we're going to add that in there as well. Okay, so now I've added my slides, and if I head back to briefings, you can see here, now we've got a 6-slide deck that we can present from. There's one more that we want here. Let's get this in there as well. Okay, so we've got the slides. So now we want to go to edit, making sure that we have everything that we need to do. You can see that I added that international sales breakdown twice, so I can simply delete. I can move everything around again, like I talked about, or if I have something from another web-based platform, I would be able to enter the web address for that, and I could add that to the briefing as well. So that way, if there's some other system that we need to get information from and it's web-based, we can actually access that directly within the briefing, again, never having to leave the system. I click done, and here I am. Now I am back into this briefing, and I click start, and here we go. So for May 2021, we're having our sales meeting. We're talking through, we're seeing our poor revenue numbers. Our profit is up. Our profit's good, it's hitting its goal, but our expenses are in the red, our revenue is in the red. And again, we can have some deeper conversations about this. What is happening here? Here's our sales breakdown where we can see a dashboard representing our close ratio, what the previous quarters may have looked like, and then how that breakdown of our products is trending. So here we have products, we have books, we have training. We can see the breakdown of sales, and again, have those conversations. Here's where we've created a dashboard where we talked about what does the revenue look like across the world. So Latin America, Australasia, Africa, and we can see those trend lines and that chart with those thermo gauges to be able to quickly and easily understand what revenue looks like around the world. And then obviously, what does our pipeline look like, right? So for the entire organization, we are a sales org. We really care about the pipeline and the health of it. But you know what happened last month? We did not get to have our meeting. So we did not get to see what our pipeline looked like in April. So if I click back to April, it changed dynamically, automatically, utilizing April's data. I can see that leads were red in April, and maybe I want to click on that and see what happened. So we can see that from March to April, we took a dip, and we even have a note here that the reason for the dip, we shut off Google and LinkedIn ad spend in some areas due to Ramadan. So now we have context as to what happened and why leads were down. I simply click back into May and head back into our briefing. And now we see our red measures. So we're looking at our red measures here. We see the training sales, book sales in the red. How cool would it be if we were able to go in, look at the scorecard, and then right from within the meeting, put together an initiative to try to drive performance in training sales revenue. So that's what we're going to do. We've noticed that we see a poor trend for training sales revenue. So right here, we're going to click initiatives, and we are going to create an initiative to try to drive training revenue. So we start a new initiative. We're going to name it increase training revenue and click create. We click done. And now we're going to add some tasks to this. So the first task that we're going to do is we're going to increase our marketing spend for Google Ads and revisit our search engine optimization. And we're going to start that today, and we're going to end it on July 30. We're going to give it a budget of $30,000, and we are going to assign it to marketing. Right, so now I click notify assigned users, and so they're going to get an alert letting them know that they've been assigned this task, and also it will show up on their home screen as they move forward. The next task we're going to have is we're going to change the questions that are asked during a customer intake to uncover hidden opportunities. So we're going to put that there. We're again going to start that today. And then we're going to make sure that this is completed by July 15th. There's no budget for that, but we're going to give this one to our business development team. Our last task will be to teach the sales reps to introduce the training topic early in the sales cycle. So we're going to add that in there. Again, starting today, complete it by the 15th of July. Again, no budget. We're going to give this to our sales team leaders so they can see that. And you know what? We need one more milestone under here where we're going to say all reps have been trained. And we're going to make that due date same of July 15th. And we're going to give that to the sales team leaders so they know that that's what they have to complete and they can check that off. So now we click done. And so now you can see here that we've actually just created a new initiative around increasing our training revenue. We're going to increase marketing spend. We're going to change those questions. And as soon as we have that, we create this, the business development team says, hey, you know what? We've actually got some new questions already ready to go. So let's add those to the initiative. So we're going to add a file. Of onboarding questions. And now it's already there for us so that if anyone goes into that task, they'll be able to find the PDF for those questions right there. So we've got the initiative created underneath the sales organization for increasing training revenue. We built it right in the middle of a meeting. Everyone's got their tasks. They've all been assigned. Everyone's got buy-in because they were in on the planning. And again, we did that all right within the meeting. So after being so super productive, our meeting comes to an end. We click stop. But there are some people who really need to have some sort of copy of the meeting or some sort of reminder. So the system itself will let you schedule. You can either download it now or you can schedule a repeating PDF or a PowerPoint to be sent out to the participants quarterly, if this is a quarterly meeting, monthly, if that's what this type of meeting is, automatically. So the meeting is from 3 to 6, every Tuesday, every last Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. on that Tuesday, a scheduled PDF gets sent to every one of the participants who is at the meeting. No one has to, again, recreate, collate, put it all together. The system will do it automatically for you. So that's really it for briefings. Obviously, if what you've seen has caused you to be ready for a full demo or a trial of our software, obviously definitely reach out to us and let us know. You can visit spiderstrategies.com and click on the Get Started button in the menu. If you're a current customer and this has prompted some questions, reach out to your customer success advocate, and we will be more than happy to assist you in getting you started utilizing briefings for your organization. Thank you all so much for attending, and I hope you have a great day.